If you're trying to make money from a social media audience, this video will explain the 4-step sequence in order to do so. We're going to cover the offer strategy, the content strategy, the lead gen strategy, and the launch strategy for actually moving people from being just followers and viewers of your content to actually paying you money. Now, why should you listen to me? Well, my name is Simon. I own a company called Viral Growth. For the past 4.5 years, I've been helping hundreds of 7 to 9-figure entrepreneurs and businesses grow on social media, put out content, attract their ideal clients, and ultimately convert them into paying revenue. And with a lot of our clients, we follow this exact same 4-step sequence for making sure that they can monetize. Now, let's get right into it. Now, the first thing we want to be looking at is, of course, the offer. Now, I'm going to assume you have some kind of following. You maybe have like, 10,000 followers or even less. It doesn't really matter. I've helped people make money from 1,000 followers, 500 followers, even all the way up to 4 million followers. But in general, it's always the same kind of steps. Now, let's say you have 10,000 people in your following and they're following you for like a certain reason. You post content in a specific niche. Let's say it's like health. Like you've been posting your health tips, your how to stay young, how to get fit, how to eat right, the supplements you should take, biohacking, whatever it is. They follow you for a reason. Now you want to then understand what's the main thing that your audience is following you for. Why did they follow you in the first place? But the first thing you want to look at is your highest viewed videos. What was the topic around that video? Okay, were you talking about anti-aging? Were you talking about losing weight? Were you talking about, looking more attractive to the opposite sex? Whatever it is, look at your videos and see which topic has performed the best. And that's going to give you a very good indicator of what you should sell. The next thing you should look at is your DMs. What are people DMing you about? Are you getting a lot of people messaging you saying that they resonate with a certain thing in your content? And what is the problem that they're trying to solve that they're really asking you to solve for them? What are they saying in your DMs? Third thing is you should look at your competitors. What are they selling? Because a lot of times, if you look at a significantly larger competitor, they've already gone through probably 2-3+ years of casting what works. And in some cases, spending millions of dollars on advertising to figure out what the market wants. And most times you do not want to reinvent the wheel. Okay. You just want to reinvent the content of that offer. But in terms of the problem that they're solving and who they're delivering it to, most times, 9 times out of 10, you're better off just seeing what works and doing your own version of it. Now, if you then decide on, okay, this is the problem that I want to solve, because you should always be solving a problem, and it should be within the big 3, okay, which is health, wealth, or relationships. Okay, so it's like I help men look better to the opposite sex, and that could be whether it's through fitness, it could be, clothing, etc. But health, wealth, relationships. If it's not in one of those 3, it's going to be hard to make a lot more money from it. Okay, so you know what your problem is, what you're trying to solve that is. Then you want to start going to Reddit and typing in your niche into subreddits and start to go through not only the posts that get the highest upvotes, but also the posts with the most comments where people are just giving you market sauce on what pains they're experiencing and sometimes the solutions that they find. And in that, you're going to find a lot of the pain points that your market is facing that you can then leverage in your own offer for your social media. Now, you want to build all of this out and create a protocol around your system. Okay, so it's like I help X person solve Y problem without the thing that they hate doing, right? Which they almost always have some issue. I help them, you lose weight without being in the gym every day or without going on an extreme diet, okay? So I help specific avatar of person solve this specific problem that they're facing without this thing that they hate doing. Now, the worst thing you can do is make it generic. I help men lose weight without going gym. Very generic. You can make it like I help, middle-aged men solve specific health problem, like whatever, like they're a chronic back issue that is common perhaps in the United States, without doing some, and through your research, you'll find out what they hate to do, and you can help them achieve it without doing that thing. Now, once you have sort of this structure in mind of who you're going to help, what you're going to help them solve, and the method that you're going to do, you want to turn it into a protocol. And this is one of the most important parts, because whenever you're building out a product or an offering, you want to make sure that it's built for scale almost immediately. And what I mean by scale is if you start to take on, say, 20 or 30 clients on a one-on-one basis, 5K, okay, you make, 100K, well, 50K, great, but that's not like big money. So you want to then start to take on more clients, but you find that because you're servicing 20 to 30 clients, you have no time left, okay? And the only way that you could actually bring on more people is by hiring more people. That cuts in your margins, and eventually you have this 100-person team just to serve, a bunch of clients. If you can then productize the offer by recording a lot of your lessons, by hiring key people to help deliver the coaching, by structuring the coaching or the mentorship, the consulting relationship where it's limited touch points. It's not necessarily unlimited. They meet you once per month. You put them on a certain protocol that they have to follow. You give them a pre-written plan that they have to follow. Then you don't have to do as much unscalable client delivery. You can actually systemize this a lot better. Not in the beginning, it'll be a very simplified version of that. But as you start to grow, you need to make sure that as you're growing, you're structuring everything in a way that can actually be productized. Now, you want to put all of this into a VSL page. Now, I have other videos that run over VSLs, but essentially what it looks like is this very crude drawing. So this is your video sales letter. This is your headline. This is an application. And underneath here, you have your testimonials and client results. Okay. This is as simple as a landing page needs to be. No opt-in, straight to VSL, headline that promises this thing over here. I help person solve problem without other thing that we don't like. VSL that explains it in more depth. That can only 5 to 10 minutes is sufficient. Then we have an application here that filters out bad leads. So you use a thing called Typeform, Typeform, and use the conditional logic where if someone says that they don't make enough money or they don't have a certain problem or whatever it is that your criteria is, if they don't match your criteria, you can make sure that they can't book a call with you. So all people that come through this funnel will be qualified. Now, you want to make sure that this is set up and it's in your link in bio. But don't launch it yet. This whole offer, you do not want to launch yet. So don't launch. You just want to have this prepared. Because if you launch it and you haven't gone through these other 3 steps, no one's going to buy it, okay? Because there are things that you need to do before asking for the sale. Think about it. If you go on a website and someone's like, and you've never seen them before, and it's extremely aggressive, like trying to get you to sign up, you're much less likely to actually buy something. But if you go through a bit of a process beforehand and build people up and get them more interested and let them know that you have a specific solution to this problem, they're much more likely to actually book sales calls and buy. So this is the point of the other three stages. Now, on the content side, if you're not already posting content, which you probably are because you've built a bit of an audience, but if you're kind of winging it, now is the time to really hone in on content around the problem that you're eventually going to pitch people to solve, okay? So all of your content should have either one common enemy or common end result. And this should be the thing that you're known for, okay? If you look at, for example, this guy, Brian Johnson, he's the guy who's trying to live forever. He says he's aging slower than a 10-year-old. His common enemy is aging, okay? And the end result is obviously getting younger. And because of that, he can then sell a protocol to people of eat this food, do this exercise, take these supplements, do all these things. And he packages up and he sells that for, as far as I know, $10,000 to $20,000 plus, okay? Because he has a common enemy. So if you don't have a common enemy in your content or a common gain or a common end result that ties all of your content together, that ties your brand together, you need to start consistently doing that because that's what's going to build interest in actually buying your thing, okay? Now, if you've done your research properly, you're already pitching something to the audience that they already want, okay? You don't want to be pitching something completely out of left field that they're just not going to want to buy, okay? So making sure that you are pitching something that they want to buy, but making sure then that your content has a common enemy and has a common end goal in mind so that you actually drum up enough interest for the thing that you want to sell. Now, Once you have your content out there, you want to make sure, by the way, that your content falls into 4 pillars. Now, these are 4 content styles that you can record consistently and easily, so that you're not having to recreate content every day. Now, the first one is talking head. Second one is podcast style. Third one is B-roll style videos. And the fourth one is photo carousels. Now, I posted another video walking through this content strategy. You can go watch that after this, but your content must have those 4 pillars or else it's going to be difficult for you to get views. Now, once you're posting your content and you're getting views, we need to then build leads, okay? Because just having the followers is not enough, okay? It's not enough for us. We need to have much more high intent people. We need to take, say we have 10,000 people, we need to get 1,000 to 2,000 of those people segmented away from the main following because they indicated that they had a higher level of interest in that specific topic. And we do that by offering lead magnets. Now, the most important thing is that the lead magnet should be hyper specific to the problem that you're trying to solve, right? If you're trying to help, I don't know, middle-aged men with erectile dysfunction, you don't want to be like a young guy in his prime with peak testosterone and all that. They're not going to download that thing, right? If it lead magnet literally says how middle-aged men can solve erectile dysfunction, like women aren't going to download that, young men aren't going to download that. It's mostly going to be that hyper-specific avatar, okay? So your lead magnet must be specific to the avatar. Otherwise, the people that you get to download it, they're just going to be very mixed people. You want to make sure that you're compiling a list of hyper-specific avatars. But if you combine this with a hyper-specific piece of content, even better. If the content itself is about erectile dysfunction for middle-aged men, and then you offer a lead magnet inside that video and connect it up with ManyChat, ask people to comment the word fucking, I don't know, dysfunction or erectile or something, or erect, then the only people that comment that word are going to be the people that you want to get the lead magnet. It's going to be your exact avatar, okay? So the goal here is to build a list of thousands and thousands of people because we want to use this for our launch strategy, okay? You want to make sure that you have a list of higher intent people. Just blindly marketing to everybody will work a little bit inside your following because we're going to do that as well. But you want to make sure you have the highest possible chance of converting people. And the way you do that is by building a list of thousands and thousands of people wanting a specific solution to a specific problem, okay? Now, all of this boils down to our launch, okay? We have to develop the offer, get the content out there to attract people that are interested in that offer, plus warm up and build interest in our existing audience, all the while getting leads from our content for a specific lead magnet. So we build this asset, this lead email list, and all of that is building up to actually launching the offer to the audience. Now, the worst thing you can do is half-ass the launch, right? You don't want to just put up a story and say, hey guys, the thing is launched, reply, the word, and I'll send you a link. It doesn't work like that. You need to make it seem like a big deal. You need to make it seem like this shit is going to change the world. This is going to change your life. This is new. This is special. This is something that won't be available forever. You want to really kind of FOMO people, and this is your chance to really wow them, right? And in a lot of cases, people they'll be more likely to buy because they were impressed with the effort and the detail of your marketing campaign. If they see your landing pages and your stories and your promotions, and they're like, damn, that was actually very well done. I wonder how good the product is going to be. If they see that it was very sloppy, they just then assume that the product is going to be sloppy. So this is really important. But there's 3 phases to a launch, okay? It goes pre-hype. It goes hype. And then there's the launch phase. So pre-hype phase, hype phase, launch phase. These are the phases. Like each one is important. If you mess up one, the next one after it is not going to be as deficient. So pre-hype. What is pre-hype? This is about essentially saying, guys, on December the 1st, I've got something big coming. I've got a big announcement that I want to make. This is going to change a lot of your lives, etc., etc. If you want to be notified of that, just click this notification bell. Okay. So there's a little bell on Instagram. This gets posted in their story. There's a little bell on Instagram where you can click it and you can get notified of something coming up. So you want to have that ready to go because you want to have as many people notified of the announcement that you're going to make on that specific day. That's your pre-hype. Now you can do that on the first day. By the way, this is a 10-day period. I should have mentioned. You can do this on day 1 and you can do it up to about day 2, 3. Okay. So if it's like, November the 27th or whatever, and you send that the announcement is coming on December 1st, you can just you can keep reminding people of the announcement. You can keep teasing what the announcement is going to be for day 1, day 2, day 3, each day having the notification bell on screen for them to tap and be notified of that announcement. Next stage is the hype stage. So you make the announcement. The announcement is there. It's like, guys, on this day, on December the 7th, we are opening the doors for this program. For all of you guys that struggle with ED, for middle-aged men that struggle with ED, we have been coming up with a protocol over the past few months that is going to revolutionize the way people, treat ED without taking, medications and this and that and whatever. And then essentially, over the course of the next 5, 6, 7 days, you want to hype that up. You want to basically get sneak previews into the process and results that beta users have used. Maybe you got people into the program for free just to try the protocol and get results. You want to tease the results that it's having for people. You want to tease the benefits and you want to show people that they can have the result without going through all of the BS that they have to do. You can even attack the current way things are being run in the world. This is the way everything's gone so far. This is why it's not worked for you. We've developed this new approach that will work for you because of X, Y, Z. Over the course of these 3 to 7 days, you have to hype up the launch, right? You also want to add in a little offer FOMO. Now, this can either be if your program is going to be on a cohort system, meaning that you only accept X amount of people per month or per quarter or whatever, then you can say that. It's like the first cohort will get in, then we close the doors. You will be able to get in for another 2 months and the price will be higher in the next cohort. Or you can just do it as a strict discount. So it's like if you buy today on the launch, you get it for, 2K instead of 5K, plus you get all this extra free shit that is not going to be available for the regular buyers after the launch, right? So you want to make sure that everyone is very much aware of what they are missing out on by not taking action on this specific launch day, okay? No, that's really important. Then comes launch day, and this is like day 7 to day 10, and it's very simple. You want to, by the way, already have told people what the process is for enrolling. Now, it's either they're going to have to be booking a sales call, or they're going to have to be paying a deposit, or they're going to be paying straight up front. Whatever way you want to frame it, but people should know exactly how the launch is going to go and what they need to do. Then launch day comes, and like either it's a direct purchase, or it's a book call, or it's a deposit. Whatever it is, for 3 days, that offer could only be available, okay? The discount, the free things, can only be available for 3 days. During those 3 days, you are constantly screenshotting people who paid you and put it on the Instagram story because people like to see that other people have purchased, right? So screenshot people saying, yep, I paid, screenshot the money hitting your Stripe account or your bank account, especially if it's limited spaces. If you can only accept 10 people, you want to be showing that each spot is gradually closing off, that there's legitimately only 1 or 3 spots left because look, here's 10 payments from 10 people or 9 payments, whatever. So making sure that you're FOBOing people into actually getting into the offer at the end of the launch, right? Then by the end of the launch period, you can post like a last minute story like, hey guys, launch is literally ending. Launch offer is ending in 60 minutes or 3 hours or tonight at midnight, whatever it is. If you don't get in now, all this is going to be gone. If you message me tomorrow asking to get in with the bonuses and everything, I'm going to reject you. You have to pay full price. So that's how the launch essentially goes. Now, if you follow these things, it's very, very, very difficult to not make money from an audience. It doesn't matter what size of audience you are. If you're small, if you're big, with millions of followers, this same structure is used by everybody, right? Making sure that our offer solves a specific problem for a specific avatar, making sure our content is attracting that avatar, engaging them and building interest in you solving that problem for them. You want to build a bank of leads so that you can then email them with your launch offer and your hype campaign. And then you want to do the launch campaign across your Instagram stories, across all social media that you have, including your email list, and making sure that people know that there is something to lose by not acting now. This is how you actually sell something to an audience. And then, of course, after that, you just do regular weekly promotions for the program, sharing results, getting people in, booking sales calls, etc. Now, if you guys enjoyed that, and if you want to work with me specifically to set up this kind of thing in your business, if you have an existing audience, or if you have an existing business doing very well, but you want to scale on social media, grow an audience, get more views, and more importantly, make a lot of money from it, there's a link in the description. You can book a call with us. And there's also a free training down below where you can check that out, where I explain a very in-depth process, even more in-depth than this, how to implement content strategies, offer pivots, sales systems, etc. You can check out in the description. Also like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I hope you enjoy. Thanks.